Hello, I decided to make this video because I know a lot of people have wondered how I ever got into this area of bridge building between the GLBT, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender community and the Christian church. And it came through one relationship. It came through of the relationship of hiking on a trail. My screen name for years has been Canyon Walker, and it makes sense. I'm a daily hiker. And I walk in these canyons near my house. I live in the Sierra of northern Nevada, so I'm a daily hiker. And I kept coming across this woman on the trail, and one day I just decided to ask her if, instead of passing each other on the trail, could I just turn around and go in the direction she was going in so that I could just meet her. I don't see lots of people out on the trails, and it would be wonderful to have some company. So I started hiking with her, and you know, sometimes life is filled with gems and treasures and you don't really appreciate them as they come along, and now, these 9 years later, I realize what a treasure was put in my path that day. Her name is Netto. She's one of my best friends on the planet. She is a lesbian, and she is very different than I am, and she's a Native American. I'm a white girl, so she's a woman of color. And she, at the time I met her, was an atheist and a lesbian, so we couldn't be any more different. Heterosexual, homosexual, white woman, woman of color. She also has a Hispanic last name. So there we were hiking along the trail. And I knew pretty much the second time I had hiked with her, there were the telltale signs. There was a little ring of rainbow-colored metal on her rearview mirror of her truck, her pickup truck, that it was usually loaded with lots of equipment. But for a year, she wouldn't tell me that she was gay. And the reason she wouldn't tell me was she figured out pretty soon on this journey together that I was a Christian, and she didn't want to lose me as a friend. We were well matched athletically, and we got along fine, and so she didn't want to lose me because she knew when she had told people in the past that she was gay, they turned their backs on her. So she was the first really close relationship I had with a member of the GLBT community, because the truth is, just like everybody else, I mean, birds of a feather do flock together, and I was hanging out with pretty much straight church girls, and she was hanging out with pretty much gay non-church girls. So we started to blur the lines, and I started bringing her into my circles. She started bringing me into her circles, and within a year we were pretty good friends. But before this, until we were pretty good friends after that. For the first year, we just kept hiking together, and one day she finally told me she was gay. I said, okay, let's just keep walking. And that's when we started, becoming friends and letting each other into our lives, because then she put down that barrier to me. And I still remember a day when we were hiking along the trail, and a very specific point in the trail, because it was so life-changing to me, when she was talking about a camp out she was going to, an RV camp out. And she told me it was one of the only places she felt safe. And I thought, is that possible? To only feel safe in like one place? So I said, I don't understand what that's about. And she said, well, I'm the lowest of the low. She said, I'm a woman. I'm a Native American. I'm a lesbian. I'm a woman of color. She said, so I just feel pretty insignificant sometimes. And I remember just starting to cry, because I couldn't believe this person that I loved could feel that way about herself. And we talked about it, and a lot of what she was feeling was what society, the unacceptability that society was putting on her, and I knew that the church was doing this to her too. So I think that's when my little shell cracked open, because until then I didn't think that I'd see gay people in heaven, because I knew what I read in Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Romans and 1 Corinthians and Timothy. Well, I knew what the Bible said in black and white, and I knew what I'd been told, but I never took the time to look at it myself. And I still didn't then. I just kept wondering, what is it? These people are so wonderful, and what makes them so unworthy for the love of God that I get? It just didn't make sense to me. So I just opened myself up to the consideration that maybe God was talking to me. And over the next several years, that's indeed what did happen. We were two people with very divergent paths, and symbolically, we came together on one trail, and we just kept walking this trail together of understanding. And a lot of the messages I get in my life are when I'm hiking. So the message that I got from God was to be open to this relationship. And what if Netto and I had stuck inside our lines of what we were supposed to do and how we were supposed to feel about each other? We wouldn't have gotten into each other's worlds. And Martin Luther King says that people fear each other because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because they don't communicate with each other. And Netto and I have hiked literally in the 9 years thousands of miles together. And so that is the person that God used to open up my views and my consideration of the GLBT community. And since then it's been 8 years, and through friendship and just compassion that God's put in me, I've come to this place. So it was relationship, and then compassion from God, and then study of the scripture. So that's how I got into this place. That's how I got into this place of bridge building. And this is my buddy Netto. Here we are. Here we are. We're finishing. Isn't that a cool picture? Whoops. We are finishing. Dang. We're finishing the Tahoe Rim Trail. That was 2 summers ago. We hiked the Tahoe Rim Trail, 165 miles of hiking and backpacking together. And we've also kayaked around Lake Tahoe together, and in all of these miles, we've just brought understanding. And the wonderful thing is, as I am recording this, my buddy Netto, who was an atheist, it was just relationship. She is on a church retreat this weekend. How cool is that, huh? How cool is that? Relationship. Don't beat people up with scriptures. It'll never work. Just be Jesus to the people. Just be Jesus, reflect the love, the grace, and the mercy of Jesus. And as she says, it was never anything I said to her. It was just how I treated her and how I treated other people. So Christians, consider that. You want to reach out to people that aren't like you? You want to look like Jesus to people? Just look like him. Just look like him. So that's how I got there. So that's why the name Canyon Walker, and that's how I got to be a bridge builder. So thank you to my buddy Netto, who, as I said, is on a church retreat. My goodness. Never would I have guessed it. So she's in church, she's still gay, and I'm still straight. And we're still hiking. Thanks for listening to the story. Bye. I'm Kathy.